Hey guys, I'm Sean Price.
I'm George Hines.
I'm Philip Essenmacher.
I'm Tonray Franklin.
And welcome to Superstuff!
Superstuff, yeah!
God, we have so much stuff in our intro.
Yeah.
It's a little ridiculous. But it's fine. There's 4 of us on the cast today. Yay!
Yay!
Yeah, 4 out of the 5 Super Adventure Brothers. And we're all...
There's a 5th?
Yeah.
What's his name?
Something stinky.
I think it starts with a B or something.
Yeah. Beverly. It's Beverly.
Yeah, Beverly.
It's not Anthony. It couldn't be Anthony.
Could not
It's Beverly. No, Anthony's not here because he didn't want to hang. Actually, he's being responsible and going to work. But screw that. He didn't want to hang.
What a loser.
Did you guys grab me a colored pencil, by the way?
Okay,
there it is.
American
Awesome.
pencil, Sean.
I got. Say that a little louder. I don't know if
They're
they
called
heard.
African American pencils, Sean.
Thank you for the correction. I needed that. Okay, so today our
That's 5 points to Gryffindor.
Hufflepuff. Okay, so today our cast is literally just going to be yes.
No. 5 points to Gryffindor.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. But yeah, today's cast is going to be purely about Marvel Comics, whether it's the MCU or just the comics or the video games or whatever. We're just going to be talking about Marvel for like a good 40 minutes straight, and that's really just as pure as we could possibly get because I mean we're all so infatuated with Marvel Comics. Like we're working on some projects that I can't disclose really because they're kind of private.
They're kind of hush-hush, if you will.
Yeah, a little bit.
Some stuff to look for in the future, we'll tell you that.
Some stuff to look forward to in the future. Superstuff presents stuff.
Yeah.
It's going to be actual super stuff.
Yeah.
So.
It's funny because our intro.
I feel like every time you say super stuff, we should all just go, yeah.
Let me try it out. Super stuff.
Yeah.
Super
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
I wonder if I have another echo. I love Sean. Was that supposed to be crickets?
Yes.
Awesome. Instead of crickets on our sound effects, I'm just going to have you doing that, and then that's going to be our cricket sound effect for the rest of
No,
time.
here it is. Cricket.
You want to hear me make a rabbit noise?
Yeah.
Rabbit. Rabbit.
That's a frog.
All right. Anyway, yeah, we're going to be doing Marvel Comics today. We're working on a couple projects. You'll be able to see them in the near future or in the far future. More than likely the far future because they're kind of just ideas right now. But you know, we can jump into them. But yeah. So recently, Avengers Endgame came out. So what was your guys' overall opinion on that? Because we did a podcast on it. I think it was.
I need to correct myself. Maestro does not have a metal arm.
Oh, yeah.
I remember he talked about that. But yeah, we I think it was me, George, and Philip, correct?
Yes,
that was the
that's
in-game
what it was.
podcast? Okay, so we
Yes.
did that one. And we didn't upload a podcast last Sunday because
You
I was taking...
selfish sons of bitches.
Sorry.
I saw it opening night.
I saw it
Nobody
twice, yeah.
said shit to me about, hey, Tonra, you want to be on our podcast about Avengers Endgame?
You live in Huntington.
I don't give a damn.
Find a way.
Okay, but
Frankly, ma'am, I don't give a damn.
frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn.
Give it to
No, we I forgot what I was going to say. No, I didn't. We did the in-game podcast, and then I think we didn't upload a podcast last Sunday because I was taking a break off because I had a lot of stuff on Mother's Day. I wanted to spend the whole day with my mama, so I didn't do anything podcast-wise on Sunday.
Mama's boy.
Yes, I am. As a matter of fact, I love my mama.
Yeah. Donna's a beautiful woman.
Very much so. Yeah, let's talk about Sean's mom for a minute.
Yeah, can we just actually scrap the whole Marvel thing and
Yeah.
just talk about Donna for
30
the
minutes.
entire podcast?
Sean's mom.
Sean's mom
She's
has
making-
got it going on. She's all I want, and I've waited for so long.
She's
making a strawberry
Can't
cobbler
you
right now.
see? And she's just the girl for me. I know it might be wrong, but
I'm in love with Sean's mom.
Those harmonies were great and totally on pitch. No, she's making us a strawberry cobbler right now.
Strawberry cobbler.
Yeah.
Oh, you can't see this, but we are all rolling in the studio right now.
And you wonder why we've all never been on a podcast together before.
This is already too chaotic.
What was the topic again?
Yeah.
DC Comics.
Why are we here?
Okay, so let's wrap up the MCU a little bit. So we have a lot of movies in the MCU. What do you guys think was the best movie in the MCU? We'll go one at a time. Tanner, you can start first.
Favorite or best?
No, what you think. Well, okay, because I'm pretty sure we would all agree that the best was probably Endgame. But your personal favorite, because mine is a tie between two. But Tanner, we'll start with you.
I actually have a tie for two as well. And not because I'm black, but I loved Black Panther.
Word.
Black Panther it had so many different levels of stuff in it, including feminism, empowering women. It was amazing in those aspects. And just talking about basically third world countries and how, a lot of people don't have a lot of stuff. But then there's Wakanda, and they don't share with anybody, selfish bastards. Anyway, I think my second one is probably Ragnarok. Because
Ragnarok's pretty good.
It had action, fighting. I probably never laughed.
Romance? What?
Yeah.
Action, fighting, romance. It's almost Shrek.
Okay. But it kind of reminded me of a Game of Thrones episode because there was those issues with siblings, except these weren't getting it on.
Right.
There was a lot of action. There was romance. But it was except for Game of Thrones, this one was funny.
Sure.
And it was just,
sure.
It was a great movie from start to finish. The Stan Lee cameo was flawless, and Stormbreaker. That's all you have to say.
Yeah. Wait, are you talking about Ragnarok?
Oh shit! Yeah.
Stormbreaker wasn't in.
My bad.
Ragnarok.
I'm sorry. I got too excited.
Thor didn't have a hammer at the end of Ragnarok. He got Stormbreaker in Infinity War.
Thor has a hammer. You just can't see it.
Still pissed Nintendo has never showed us Mario's penis.
It's been about 40 years. We still haven't seen Mario's penis.
I just want to know if it's bigger than mine.
Probably.
I kind of wonder when he gets that mushroom, if it makes it grow any bigger.
That's what I'm saying, When he grows, does it grow with him?
Speaking of things that can grow bigger, Mr. Fantastic. Does he use it to his advantage?
Oh, I thought you were just bringing up Mr. Fantastic for no reason, and I was like, what?
That was random.
The thing.
Let's be honest. Sue already knows what size it is anyway. So if he makes it bigger,
what if she's always been baffled at the size? What if he always stretches it out? What if she never actually knows what?
Weren't they doing it before he got the powers?
No. They all got the powers on a space mission. I don't think they were married when they got the powers.
They weren't married, but I thought they were kind of. No, she was with Doom, wasn't she?
No.
It's
Well, in the movie,
there's several different iterations, but I think in the original she was just. I think they were just
I thought they were sweethearts.
Maybe I'm not sure.
That's why they were working together. And that's not
well, then,
fine.
hey, when he got stretchy powers, she was probably like,
yes.
But she could make it invisible.
She can't make other things invisible.
Yes, she
She can make... Yes, yeah. Yes, she can.
Listen, I'm not very up to date on the Fantastic Four.
Because I think it would...
Cannot blame you for that one.
Okay, listen, the Fantastic Four comics are great.
Yeah.
They are.
Yeah.
Okay.
The movies,
Okay.
Only the most recent one was good.
So, enough about Marvel movies.
Okay.
Let's talk about some Marvel comics.
Well, I thought you were going to talk about your favorite MCU movies.
Oh,
because
I forgot about
Tonry
that.
said his, and then you
And
guys
then we
haven't
all
even
got on
said.
tangents. Oh yeah. What's my favorite?
Well, enough about the topic. Here's a topic.
Here's another
This
one.
is Philip's show now,
but
guys.
Anyways,
Favorite Marvel movie?
my favorite Marvel movie, Marvel Cinematic Universe movie, because Deadpool is the best Marvel movie ever.
It's
But,
good. It's up there. No, I love Deadpool. George is like shaking his head and stuff, but
I wasn't shaking my head. I was making a stupid look.
my favorite MCU movie is definitely Spider-Man: Homecoming, because Spidey is my boy. But
I love me some Spider-Man. I really do.
and my favorite bit in any Marvel movie ever.
New Crash Bandicoot racing game. Sorry, I'm reading my Game Informer during the podcast. Your favorite. Sorry, go ahead.
I'll kill you.
Go ahead. I've been looking for an out.
Please.
My favorite bit in any Marvel movie ever is do a flip guy. It's the best.
Hey!
Spider-Man, do a flip!
Yeah.
Hey!
Yeah! That was in our top 5 favorite
Yes,
MCU
he's
characters.
my
Your
number
your
one.
number one was Do a Flip
It's
Guy.
number one.
Real quick, I want to interject something. I think, and I would love to hear your guys' opinion about this. I think Tom Holland is the best Spider-Man / Peter Parker that they've had out of the 3.
Oh, I
Combo,
agree.
I
yes.
100%
I think
agree.
Tobey Maguire was an amazing Peter Parker. Andrew Garfield was an amazing Spider-Man.
Exactly.
But Tom Holland is a perfect mix of the two.
Exactly.
Also, Tom Holland's just a beautiful human.
And
Super straight.
yeah, but also what a lot of people may not realize is that Holland pretty much, I'm not gonna say begged to be Spider-Man, but sent them videos of him doing gymnastics and all kinds of shit so they know that he was capable of doing his own stunts for the movie.
Oh, yeah.
That's how he basically got the job.
Oh, yeah, man.
So, I mean, kudos to him for that.
He's extremely qualified to be Spider-Man. That's for sure.
He's now Spider-Man. There's no question in my mind that Tom Holland is Spider-Man.
Actually,
agree.
Philip Essenmacher is Spider-Man, but Tom's a good substitute.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to tell him that?
Okay, George?
So is it my turn now for my favorite Marvel movie?
No.
Okay, then I guess I'll just...
Yeah, it is.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm gonna go with a really underrated one.
Okay.
One that you really don't hear people talk about. It's nonstop action, nonstop compelling story, and just it's amazing. Thor: The Dark World is a cinematic classic.
I don't like that joke.
That's fair enough. No, but for real though, I'd have to say my favorite movie is it's Civil War.
You know, Anthony's not even here, but he can react.
He's still got the sound bites.
Yeah.
No, but Civil War is absolutely my favorite one. I think just story-wise...
You mean Avengers 3?
Pretty much, yeah. Just the whole story of, the big twist at the end where Bucky's the one who killed Iron Man's parents, and then you've got Zemo, who is such a good villain, and you don't even think about him. Like, that's the perfect... that's such a great villain, is one who's not even there. He's not looking for attention, he's just behind the scenes, making things move and trying to tear the Avengers apart. And it comes the closest to tearing the Avengers apart of any Marvel villain.
No, he did
And
tear
that
the Avengers
airport
apart.
battle scene.
Oh, my God.
That is one of the greatest fight scenes of any scene of anything I've ever watched.
Until they all realized their mom's names were Martha, and then they stopped.
And then the day's saved.
And then Wonder Woman jumps in and...
Martha!
I actually saw a top 10 best superhero movie entries on WatchMojo.com or something like that. And no offense to WatchMojo, but the number one entry was Wonder Woman in Batman vs. Superman. And I'm like, Thor, Infinity War, mic drop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, that was
Captain
probably-
America Infinity War.
Captain Marvel Endgame.
Yeah. Well, this was before Endgame came out, of course.
Okay.
But yeah, Wonder Woman and Batman vs. Superman, it was a decent entry. It's just, it didn't even merit top 10.
Hold on.
No.
I think you guys are forgetting one that I think is very underrated, and that was Black Panther's intro. Because his
In Black Panther?
No, in Civil War.
Oh, yeah, that was a good one.
Because that was a pretty dope-ass entrance, because Bucky's running away from Cap, and all of a sudden he just gets blindsided, and
And I'm going to add on to that because we're completely, as a Marvel Cinematic Universe society, we see the trailer for Civil War and we see, oh cool, Spider-Man's in the Marvel Cinematic Universe now. They didn't even mention Black Panther. And as soon as I heard them say T'Challa in that movie, I went, no way. We're finally getting introduced to this iconic Avenger and this is about to be dope. And then they did like the whole Black Panther suit and everything. I'm like, they added Spider-Man and Black Panther in one movie. This has got to be the greatest movie of all time. I mean, I'm partial to Winter Soldier, but I think Civil War might be my favorite Marvel Cinematic Universe movie.
I also love the character development that they gave certain people. Don't get me wrong, the big, from the big six, you got Cap and all those guys. But also what I like is kind of how they underplayed Scarlet Witch.
Yeah,
Yeah.
They really did. Up until Endgame, they kind of underplayed
just
her,
took
which
everything
you
from
kind of
me.
saw a little bit of it during Infinity War, but in Endgame, it showed.
Which leads me to ask the question, why the fuck didn't she show these powers earlier in the Marvel Cinematic Universe in the other movies? They might not have had to go to Endgame.
Oh, is that what we're doing now? We're saying the F word on the podcast? Okay.
Yeah, I said it. Yes, I did.
No, I don't care, man. I'll just mark it
I'm the
explicit.
oldest of the group, so I feel like I should say it.
Connor, you're 21. I'm 29.
Okay, well, whatever.
That's...
But I have 4
No.
kids. I have 4 kids, and you don't.
You have one child.
My kid drives me to soccer practice. I know it's weird, but
Philip, you're 12 years old.
He's a soccer son.
all right.
I'm not even going to pause to ask my mom this. Is the strawberry cobbler almost ready? Cool, 5 minutes and we'll have strawberry cobbler.
Strawberry cobbler.
Yeah!
Call back.
I'd say the only thing hotter than that strawberry cobbler is Donna Price.
Oh my god, full circle.
Full
We're
circle,
going full circle.
All right, we're all the way back to the Donna train, baby.
Woo woo. Anyway, my turn. My favorite Marvel Cinematic Universe movie. Any guesses? Any guesses? Any
Howard the
guesses?
Duck.
You son of a bitch.
How did you guess?
I don't like that joke.
I figured it would be something to do with Cap.
It's Winter Soldier.
You think it's Winter Soldier?
I know it is.
I'm gonna say Guardians, the first one.
It's Guardians 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Guardians 1 for sure. Honestly, in my opinion, they took a big risk with Guardians. They were like, I didn't expect them to do a Guardians of the Galaxy movie at all. And so James Gunn was like, hey, I got this idea. We should bring the Guardians of the Galaxy to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And they were like, I don't know. And then they did it, and they brought it, and it was so good. I saw that movie probably like 4 times opening weekend, and it was so good. In my opinion, the best soundtrack to a movie ever.
Oh, 100%.
Such a good soundtrack.
100%.
Like Black Panther has a really good soundtrack. Guardians 2 has a really good
Kendrick Lamar
soundtrack.
did the entire soundtrack.
Guardians 2 has a really good soundtrack. However, Guardians 1, I swear to God, from the moment I heard the hey, hey, what's the matter with
And we
you?
can't continue due to copyright infringement.
Basically.
Anyway,
It was great. I really like Guardians 1. Winter Soldier is a close second to me, though.
Let me point
I
something out,
love
though.
Captain America.
in Guardians 1, they did basically the 70s. Guardians 2, they did the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot wait for Guardians 3 because they're going to break out boy bands.
No, nothing but grunge punk rock from the 90s.
I would love to hear
I
some
think
boy band
it's
stuff.
not going to be anything
George, you
like
say that as a joke, like I won't bump to that playlist.
Oh, I absolutely know that you will.
It would be
Could you
great.
just imagine, like, Star-Lord flying around in space with, like,
Nirvana.
Smells Like Teen Spirit in
Yeah.
the background?
So, funny story, I don't think that's going to happen at all because Star-Lord, while it has only been a few short hours, he has been to Earth. In Endgame, he was on Earth. Not to mention, he picked up Thor, and this one is set far after Guardians 2 is set. Because between Guardians 2 and Infinity War, there's a good 6-year gap. And then there's another 5 years tacked onto that between Infinity War and Endgame. Mm-hmm. So this is set a good 11 years. That's the right math,
So you're
right?
telling me Thor's going to be riding around listening to Gucci Gang?
No.
Gucci Gang, Gucci
I
Gang.
do agree, but I think they're still going to do 80s music. I don't think they're going to bring the 90s music in there. I think they're going to do 80s because we kind of got a good 90s soundtrack with Deadpool, and I know it's not the same kind of cinematic universe. However, I think that they're going to stick to like 80s classics and stuff because with the song that they like added in Infinity War, Rubber Band Man, it's still like a classic, you know? But I don't think they're going to bring up it with the 90s songs because this movie is set literally 11 years after Guardians 2. So there's a big gap. And I'm pretty sure they're going to call this next one as Guardians of the Galaxy for obvious reasons, but, you know.
So
I can't wait to see Thor and Adam Warlock go battle head-to-head.
Kiss.
Okay.
Super Kiss, yeah!
Can I have a kiss?
Super Kiss, yeah!
Super kiss! That took way too much effort.
Oh my goodness.
I feel like I
So,
need to reward myself with a
I'm
sweet
going
or
to
something.
piggyback on all of this. Can we talk about James Gunn for a second?
Absolutely.
The man is a genius.
Oh my
First
god.
of all, he's directed 2 great movies. And I'm honestly super stoked that he's taking over Suicide Squad.
I'm pretty sure
I think
there's
that
an
movie
elite.
has a chance to be good now.
I think it does.
I don't.
Oh, James, you don't think James Gunn can
James
make
Gunn
something out of it?
I think James Gunn can do amazing things, but I mean, it's kind of like giving Sharknado to Quentin Tarantino.
Okay, well, Suicide Squad. There's a lot you can work off of the Suicide Squad.
I think
If you completely scrap it and don't even and you pretend like the first one never
Yeah,
even
I'm pretty
existed.
sure
that's what they're doing.
That's
Yeah.
exactly
If they
what they're doing.
completely redo it, then I think it might
That-
have a chance.
these-
But if they're
they-
tacking it onto it, no
They-
way.
they confirmed it's not a sequel. It's its own.
Well, I know
movie.
it has a new roster, but I didn't know if it was going to be a sequel.
No, yeah, they're pretending like the last one didn't.
Because I know the roster that I heard. I don't know if this is confirmed, but I heard it was King Shark, Deathstroke, Deadshot, Polka Dot Man, Plastic Man, and Captain Boomerang. That's what I heard so
I don't
far.
know. On some of those names, I can't I'd love to see Polka Dot Man in there.
That'd
I
be
think
so
that's
cool.
an amazing.
Oh, and
superhero.
Kite Man.
I love
Kite Man. But anyways, that's DC. So like
Yeah,
Marvel podcast.
frick
Come on.
DC. Ha.
Hate DC.
Nah, man, we do super stuff. We're all about DC comics as well. It's just right now we're rocking some Marvel stuff.
But I think it's awesome that the Gunn he's dipping into. He's going to make a crap ton of money from it regardless. And
Not to mention, I think the DC Cinematic Universe is actually going to be.
it's getting better.
It's bringing up
Going
because
some
you guys have seen
places.
Shazam, right?
I have not.
It's baller.
Oh my
Shazam is boss.
I still haven't even seen Aquaman.
Dude, Shazam's better, but Aquaman is really good. Shazam's the best movie they've put out thus far.
Knowing that he and I normally go to midnight premieres of all the movies.
And we
Of
always have a
course.
midnight phone call.
We literally have a midnight phone call where we're like, "Oh my god, did you see this? Oh my god, did you see this? Oh my god, did you see this?" It's hilarious. But
It's so cool. And it was awesome because after Captain Marvel, I was one of the very few people who freaking loved that movie. I thought it was great. I didn't think it was as good as some of the Marvel movies I've
Oh,
seen.
no, dude. I think it was so like. I loved Captain Marvel.
Yeah, but I thought it was a very good movie. So I called him and I was like, please tell me you liked Captain Marvel. He goes, I loved Captain Marvel. I'm like, thank God. And so then, what did you think of it,
I
George?
haven't seen it yet.
You haven't seen Captain
No,
Marvel?
I'm so dude. Being away at college was so rough. I'm so glad that Endgame came out while I was coming home, so that I could actually go see it.
Captain Marvel's so good.
It is really good.
And it's not like cringy. It's not a cringy feminist movie either. It's a good superhero movie. People just, it's the white men in the nerd community that kind of like try to shut it down and make it something it's not, you know. And it sucks because like this is a really good superhero movie in my opinion, and it showcases a powerful woman in a powerful state, and it's not just because she's a woman that she's powerful. It's because she's powerful that she's powerful. The fact that she's a woman has nothing to do with it.
I'll agree that Brie Larson being a little bit cocky in Endgame made me kind of angry.
Yeah.
But it doesn't take away that Captain Marvel was amazing. So good.
Well, see, the only thing I had about Endgame with the Captain Marvel bit was I didn't hate the girl power moment because I'm all about a good girl power
I would
moment. I
love
thought
to
it was
see
awesome.
an A-Force movie.
that would be
Great.
With all the women
Um,
Marvel.
I love a good girl power moment, and I thought it was great that they added that in there. It's just the context kind of pissed me off because she showed up and Spider-Man was like, "How are you going to get it through all that alone?" And then someone was like, "She has help," and it was all the girls that showed up, and I'm like, "Okay, listen." If it were any other female in this movie, that would have been a badass moment. But the fact that it was the only person in this entire team that didn't need your help kind of set me off a little bit. Like, Captain Marvel doesn't need that help. It was cool that we had a girl power moment, and I love that, but the context was kind of weird. Like, imagine if Doctor Strange was there, and then all the guys were like, he has help. I'm like, come on.
Doctor Strange, I don't think he could have taken on that entire army by himself.
But he could have just made a portal and went away from him.
If he did, why wouldn't? If he did, then he definitely could have just beaten Thanos. If he could just defeat that entire
But that wasn't
army
one of
by
the
himself.
14 million scenarios that he saw where they won.
That's a fair point.
Yeah, because Thanos is inevitable.
But
But
if there's
Tony is Iron Man.
if there's infinite realities, that means he only saw 14 million.
He stopped at the one that they won.
He stopped at the one where they won. He could have went on and saw infinite amounts of realities where they won.
And 100% saw one where Ant-Man went up Thanos' butt.
I'm disappointed that there wasn't any insertion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey guys, not to get anybody else excited about this, but we are on the cusp of Strawberry pie.
Cobbler.
Cobbler.
Close.
Strawberry cobbler.
We're from the
really
woods,
yum,
bro.
yeah.
We don't eat pie. Pie's my favorite food. Okay, so we made a list of our top 5s, and since there's 4 of us, we're going to do them a little early in the cast this time. That way we get them all out. We have our top 5 favorite Marvel characters of all time, and we will start those as soon as we get back from eating strawberry cobbler. That was some yummy strawberry cobbler. And now we're going to jump into our top 5 lists. I think I'll go first. My top 5 favorite Marvel characters, comics and MCU included. Do you guys have any guesses? I will give you hints, though. All of my characters are in the MCU, but the fact that they're my favorite isn't because they're in the MCU. I personally
Starting
like...
from 5, right?
Oh, no. Actually, one of these characters is not in the MCU.
Starting from 5.
Some of these characters, I like them a lot because of the comics and because of the movies. So, starting with number 5, who do you think my number 5 is?
4. Bunker.
Bunker's a DC hero.
Is he?
Yes, and he would be on my
4.
top 5 list if this were a DC list. I love Bunker.
I'm gonna take a guess. Not at your. Which one of the list is the not MCU one? Because I definitely know who it is.
It's number 1.
Is it Black Bolt?
No, it's not.
Wow, really?
Black Bolt's not even on my list, as a matter of
That's
fact.
crazy.
I used to love
when we first started being friends. That was your all-time.
I used to
favorite
love me
superhero.
some Black Bolt, man, but then I don't know. The Inhumans comics haven't really
He
stayed
goes by
consistent and stuff.
African-American Bolt
But okay, my number 5 is Nebula.
Oh.
Ooh.
I love Nebula, and the end game made me love her even more, so much. My number 4 is Thor.
Yeah, obviously.
Because Thor comics are one of the only comics that I actually try to collect. I have the Better Bill run, I have the Throg run, and I really, really like me some Thor, for real. I like the whole Asgardian stories and stuff, and I'm really into Norse mythology, so the fact that I can relate that to my Spider-Man and my Deadpool, that really, really resonates well with me. My number 3,
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man. It's my Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
My boy, my Peter Ulysses Parker. I like Ben Reilly better because I like the Scarlet Spider costume better.
Ooh, I do like that. Yeah, it's a good costume.
But I do love me some Peter Parker. Spider-Man's my number 3, though. Number 2,
Deadpool.
Captain America.
Oh, number 1's Deadpool then.
I love Captain America, man.
He's so.
I literally have Captain America on my shirt right now.
You're wearing the shirt right now.
Yeah, I have Captain America posters, comics. I have a costume. I cosplay Captain America. But my number 1 is Deadpool because
You are Deadpool.
I could write for Deadpool, man. I love me some Deadpool.
He's pretty good.
Who Deadpool is?
Yeah.
He's your number 1 too. Me and Phil, we love us some Deadpool for real. That's a long list you got there, George.
Huh, that's not.
I know, it's for another project. Okay, so we'll go George next. Who's your top 5?
My top 5. Okay, so I think 2 of mine are in the MCU.
Sure.
My number 5.
Wait, can I guess?
Sure.
Kodak Black.
Your number
Yes.
5?
Is Kodak Black the rapper? I guarantee you won't guess it.
Your number 5?
Yes.
Because I think I might know who your number 1 is.
It's a comedy character.
Howard the Duck?
Yes, it is.
Really?
Howard
No
the-
way!
I love Howard the
Oh, awesome.
Everything about him. I've read so many of his comics just online, and I've watched the terrible Howard the Duck movie.
I've never seen the Howard the Duck movie.
It's worth the watch. Just
I
so
watched
you
the
can say
old
that
Doctor
you've watched
Strange
it.
movie recently, though.
What?
It's so bad.
Oh my god.
There's a Thor one and a Captain America one too.
There's the old Avengers movie, too.
Yeah.
Where
Oh,
Lou
man.
Ferrigno and the guy who plays Thor fight, and it's a decent battle scene.
I bet it's a cinematic masterpiece.
It's
I'm
amazing.
surprised. Anyway,
Your number 4?
my number 4, Venom. One of my favorite villains of all time. One of my there are so
What'd
many
you think of the
different-
movie?
Man, it just I love Venom, but that was an awful movie. I just want justice for him. I think he's one of the coolest villains I've ever seen. The black Spider-Man costume is one of my favorite any superhero
George
costume.
Tonry is right there.
African-American
African-American Spider-Man costume.
Very sorry. My number 2, Spider-Man 2099. That's
Okay.
one that I have loved since
Miguel
Miguel O'Hara.
O'Hara. Yeah.
It's a character that I've loved since I was a little kid. And that mostly comes from me liking Batman Beyond and then seeing Spider-Man 2099, I mean. And also, I love that costume. And then my number 1, you said you think you could guess it?
I thought it was going to be Howard the Duck.
No, he's my number 5. It's not in the MCU.
Oh. He's not at all in the
Not
MCU?
at all in the MCU.
Daredevil.
Oh, wait, did I skip it? Daredevil was my number 3, and I skipped it.
Really?
Yes. But
Oh,
yeah, no,
you skipped
it's
it. I know you love Daredevil.
Yeah, no, I love The Man Without Fear is one of my favorite comic book storylines of all time, and
Yeah.
the TV show is one of my, like, I've watched it so many times all the way through just because it's so great.
What'd you think of the Ben Affleck movie?
It was a movie. Wow, I'm starting to realize that a lot of the characters I have terrible movies.
Oh, hell yeah. Lots of characters have terrible movies.
Yeah.
I mean, you've seen all, like, 6 of the Hulk movies, right?
I've
One
only
of them
seen-
is
I've only
okay.
seen the one from 03 and The Incredible Hulk.
One of them is okay.
Is it one with Lou
It's the
Ferrigno?
most recent one.
Yeah, that one's pretty
It's
good.
okay.
Yeah, it's
not
it's
great.
a fine movie.
Yeah.
But my number 1, Sentry.
Duh.
Absolutely. And
How did I not guess that? Oh my god, I knew that.
Why I love Sentry so much stems from he's my favorite twist. Like the kind of twist to take on a superhero.
Sure.
Is not someone who's blessed with power, but someone who's cursed with it.
All right.
Someone who, because in his first run, he's like, he literally takes away the memory of him being Sentry because there was I can't remember what villain it was, but someone that revolved around the fact that Sentry knew him, and the Sentry's he's way too powerful. And it's
Oh yeah,
hard
I
for
think
him to
what was it
control
in
all
his
that.
Marvel something profile? It was has the ability of 1,000,000 exploding suns.
Yep. And then there's there's that one time where he just casually, completely repaired himself after being destroyed to a couple molecules. Like, that's ridiculous. But yeah, no, it's just I just think he's a great character. I'd love to see him in the MCU.
I think that's a long ways away, but I think it'd be
absolutely.
cool.
That's like
We still need to see Adam Warlock in the MCU.
he's coming.
Hopefully. Philip?
All right, so number 5. I don't know if you'll ever guess this.
You're number 5?
Yeah,
I know Spider-Man and Deadpool are on your top 5.
yeah.
Agent Venom?
No.
Oh, I don't know.
Quasar, but not the male Quasar, the female Quasar. Because when I read Secret Empire, the comic book series, she really stood out, and I really liked her character, and she's been one of my favorites ever since then.
I feel that. That's how I am with Polaris.
Mm-hmm. Let's go to number 4. Can you guess number 4?
Agent Venom?
No, it's not Agent.
It's not. Is Agent Venom
is
not on your
my
list? I thought you. I don't know.
Black Tom Cassidy.
No,
Do a flip guy.
no, it's close. Spider-Man.
It's Spider-Man.
Yeah, it's
Okay,
Spider-Man.
I thought Spider-Man would be 2 or 1.
Nope. Spider-Man. I don't know. I think his universe is getting too big and confusing, but I still love Peter Parker, the basic essence of him, and everything about Peter Parker.
The originality and stuff. Yeah, I feel that.
I love it.
I like his relatability a lot.
I as a high school wrestler
Yeah.
who now has glasses and is a nerd. It's like, boom, that's my favorite, like, one of my favorite, like, story arc.
Not to mention you
characters.
cosplay Peter or
That's true.
Spider-Man.
I am Spider-Man. Number 3, you might guess this, but I don't.
Yondu.
No. It's actually Sleepwalker.
Okay. Yeah, he's
I
been reading a lot of
I
Sleepwalker
recently
lately.
picked up his first comic series, and it's really interesting. Like, some really quirky rogue gallery villains, like 8-Ball. But I just love his comics. Next, number 2, you'll never
Madcap.
guess. No.
Hit Monkey.
Nope.
Dupe.
Deadpool character, but
Dupe?
nope.
I don't know.
Blind Al,
Oh.
which is Deadpool's,
I know who Blind Al is, yeah.
like, slave, basically. And her quips in the comics are hilarious. Like, sometimes she'll, like, tell Deadpool he's, like, I don't know. You just have read Deadpool 97, like the 97 run, and you will know why I love Blind Al so much. And number 1 is, I'm not even going to let you guys guess because you already know, it's Deadpool.
Yeah.
Because, I don't know, he's just so funny and original and interesting that it's like, even in the face of absolute destruction, he's still laughing and joking and having a good time. It doesn't matter what happens. Deadpool's having a good time. And just
Not to mention those movies are boss.
they're so good, and the intricacies of his character, from going from a straight edge like guy who just has a small healing factor in his first comic run, to being an absolute maniac and insane. Oh, and by the way, he's not a hero. That's a debate for another day.
Tonray, top 5 favorite Marvel characters.
Okay. I have an honorable mention before I start my list. I absolutely love Cloak and Dagger.
Both as a whole?
Both as a whole.
As you sit next to your Cloak cosplay?
Yeah. I have watched the show, and the show is
Great.
great. I think it is phenomenal. And I actually like the comics as well.
Have you read that graphic novel I got for you?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I read it the day we got it, I think.
Right.
But,
Can I tell that story real quick?
yes, I knew you were going to ask, so go ahead and tell the story.
Okay, so we're at Comic-Con. Comic-Con 2018? 2017?
What is
2018.
2018.
And,
No, it's 2017.
Okay, 2017. It was the Marvel Cinematic Universe panel, and so they started giving out prizes to random people in the audience. And so then they anyone who was jumping and shouting and hey, I want it. And they had a Cloak and Dagger graphic novel. Tanner was like, man, I'd kill to have that. I was like, yeah, all right. So I start freaking out and stuff. And then a guy looks at me, points at me, and goes, "Are you two?" We had matching shirts on, so it was obvious we were together. We were there on work. Yeah. So then he was like, "Are you two always here at the same panel every year, standing right there side by side?" I was like, "No." He was like, "You look familiar." I was like, "We get that a lot. Have you ever seen Pulp Fiction?"
Worst joke ever.
He looked at me. He said, "That was awful, but I respect that." And he gave me the graphic novel.
I'm pretty sure he gave it to us so we would just go away.
Yeah, I gave it to Tonray and stuff. It was pretty awesome. All right, Tonray, number 5.
The Incredible Hulk.
The Incredible Hulk?
Yes.
Cool. You do the Incredible Hulk in our Discord server.
Yes, and it's fun. It's a blast. It's just Bruce Banner. He's smart, and then the Hulk. Then there's the Hulk who just beats the living shit out of everything. I just think it's awesome. My number 4. Wait a minute. Okay, yeah. My number 4, Luke Cage.
Your Luke Cage cosplay
My Luke Cage cosplay.
at the most recent Comic-Con.
Oh my god, it was so funny.
Was the greatest thing I've ever seen.
I did an out of work or canceled by Netflix Luke Cage, and it was so dope. I got so many people took pictures with me. It was so fun. But I like Luke Cage. I've loved the comics, but I'm gonna be honest with you. The show on Netflix was amazing.
Oh, I agree.
The soundtrack was fire, so good. But I just like Luke Cage. He's just a badass. He knows he's a badass.
I think the only flawed Netflix original show was the first season of Iron Fist.
I completely
Because
agree.
the second season of Iron Fist is great.
It's phenomenal.
It's really good. But no one got past the first season to acknowledge that, so the show got canceled. Granted, all of the shows got canceled, but I think that's because they're going to revive them with Disney+.
Oh, I'm pretty sure. But I also read an article that said that it will not happen for at least 2 years because the contract that they had with Netflix, once it's done, it's not going to be over for a little bit. So
Okay, so Disney probably bought them out, but they can't put anything
but they can't
out
put
there.
anything out for a couple years.
Gotcha.
Number 3. Well, I guess I was going to say Wolverine
Okay.
because Hugh Jackman. He really didn't say much more.
He is the greatest showman, after all.
Yes.
Shing, I am Wolverine!
The movies are great, and just what he represents. And
All of the
portrays
movies?
Okay, not all of them.
X-Men Origins Wolverine is an underrated classic.
Just like The Dark World?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Thor: The Dark World the Blade movies and X-Men Origins Wolverine are the greatest Marvel superhero movies of all time.
The first two Blade movies are pretty good.
Trinity was god-awful, but I watched it anyway.
It has Ryan Reynolds in it.
True. Exactly.
Fantastic Four, not the first two, the revival, is the greatest Marvel movie of all time.
Okay, back to the list. Number 2.
Howard the Duck is the greatest Marvel.
Number 2 for me is Black Panther.
Okay.
For obvious reasons. It's T'Challa. It's
We
Wakanda.
literally just did a Black Panther thing for the project we're working on.
Yes, it's going to be great. Maybe one day we'll let you listen to it. But
America! Yeah.
Yaha! But listen, I'm kind of disappointed that the MCU didn't take it in the approach, but also think didn't have the licensing for it at the time to where he marries Storm.
I think they'll go that direction. I'm really disappointed with what the actress who plays Storm in the current X-Men movie said about the situation, but they asked her if she would ever be open to being in a Black Panther movie, and she said, I don't need a man to dictate what kind of superhero I am. I'm like, that's literally, like, it's a big deal in the comics. She's like, I don't care. I'm like, oh my god, why are you in this?
But also, that just reminds me of the meme, like, if Black Panther and Storm had babies, would they be called Thundercats? Hey. And last but not least, speaking of thunder, my number 1. Thor! The man is
He's the god of thunder.
He's the god of thunder. He's epically badass. And if I didn't love him enough, Chris Hemsworth playing Thor has just solidified that to the max.
Fat Thor.
Fat Thor was... I call him Dad Bod Thor.
I call it Master Roshi.
That works too. But I mean, he looked more human in
I
game.
think he looked more like Thor than he's ever looked in Endgame.
And I absolutely loved it. It was phenomenal. People were upset because, like, you know, he should have been fat. But when you lose your mom, your dad, your best friends, your girl, your hammer, your world, your entire world, your brother, I'm pretty sure I would go into a depression myself, and I would eat my feelings. But you know, it is what it is. So that's my top 5.
Word. Yeah, thanks for sharing your top 5, gentlemen. We have very differing opinions on a lot of characters, but very same opinions on a couple. Deadpool, Thor. However, that is it for our episode today. We will be back next week with another amazing episode about whatever we're geeking out about.
Strawberry Cobbler.
Strawberry Cobbler, yeah!
Yeah!
Okay, anyway, you can follow us on Instagram at Super Adventure Brothers. You can follow me on Instagram at Sean Price Cosplays to check out all of the kooky and crazy events that Tonray and I do on our adventure to Chicago. I'm going to post those on there because they won't upload on YouTube for some reason. However, follow us on Spotify, follow us on YouTube, and follow us on Facebook for all of the Super Adventure Brothers / Superstuff updates, and keep an eye out for these awesome projects that we're going to be working on. Also, if you haven't already followed my friend Grace Shockey over at the Xavier's Podcast for Gifted Listeners, please go check that out. It is short sessions of a podcast, 10 minutes or less, and she just talks about whatever's on her mind, usually revolving around the X-Men universes. I was on the most recent episode. It's called Captain America is a Jerk. So we talk about that and stuff and compare him to the comics / the movies. So if that's your gist, then go check that out. Anyway, thank you for listening in. I'm Sean Price.
I'm Tonray Franklin.
I'm Philip Essenmacher.
And I'm Greg Hamilton.
And I'm Anthony Fontano. Bye, guys.